I'm not gonna stream too long, but there's a full moon out tonight, so. Anyways, yeah, I've been just bananas on Google Fi, so I'm actually gonna talk with it, and I think that's a notification that went out. Yep, notification that went out. So right now, currently, I still have my Metro by T-Mobile. That line I'm gonna have to hold on to just because business, work, and such. And yeah, it also has the home internet, the home Wi-Fi, which is a great deal. It's great having everybody, like, everybody is on my Metro family plan currently right now. My son is the latest one to join, so I migrated his line over. So he is off Visible now and using Metro. So good on him. We have the home Wi-Fi, so like all the IoTs connect to that. Um, no need to run a hotspot or anything like that. Thank you for the thumbs up, like, I really appreciate it. Um, and then I have Google Fi. My return to Google Fi was kind of like an odd one. I was on the Flex plan for a while, and believe you me, if you have home Wi-Fi and you rarely um, use like Google Fi off Wi-Fi, you can save yourself some serious money being on Google Fi and the Flex plan. But Google Fi recently changed its plans. Now, to kind of what's up, Gene? To kind of state this in a way for people to understand, a few months back, and the ghetto bird always comes out when I go live to sit in the backyard and chill. What the hell? Anyways, Sneed Mobile Tech did a video. You can go check out his channel. I recommend checking out his channel. But he did a video, and well, before I go through, someone let me know, is the stream okay or is it breaking up? Because I can always disconnect it from the Wi-Fi and just run it off Metro's data. So just let me know if it's like being pixelated or cutting in and out. I'm not sure. Um, I would actually, you know what? This is I could just go check it just to make sure that the live stream's doing okay. But I would want your guys' opinion too. So please let me know. Let me just lower the volume so then that way. Stream is great. Oh, okay, cool, cool. All right. I see it is. Okay. So, anyways, kind of go on. Um, so Sneak dropped a video and he was talking about T-Mobile was going to renegotiate their deals with MVNOs. So this wasn't for Metro by T-Mobile because that's a T-Mobile prepaid owned company, and it wasn't for T-Mobile prepaid either. Again, that's prepaid company. What network is Google Fi using? They use two different networks. They use T-Mobile and US Cellulars, depending on where you are. It can switch. You can force switch it. So if you have US Cellular coverage and T-Mobile coverage in the same area, you can switch it to whichever one you want to use, whichever one's better. But those are the two that they use. Can't really say Sprint, but you can say nothing's really changed because Sprint and T-Mobile has merged. But anyways, yeah, Snead dropped a video talking about T-Mobile that was going to renegotiate its deals with its MVNOs, and that was a good thing. Um, that was a very good thing because it allowed for what recently happened with Google Fi. Google Fi is a MVNO; it's a mobile virtual network operator. So let's see. You saw my comment on Google Fi in your recent. Um, Not sure. I don't think so, but you can always comment it here. But anyways, so with the renegotiations, I guess Google renegotiating with T-Mobile wanted to increase the data allotment. See, here's the thing. I know that Google Fi wasn't enticing because of the 22 gig data cap, right? A lot of people expressed their thing about 22 gigabytes is not enough, and but rightfully so. Because I was on a different foot for a while. I always relied on home Wi-Fi. Since the pandemic hit, since losing my home, and my family struggling, slightly being homeless for a while, finding a place to stay or whatever, we really didn't have the money to go and reconnect home Wi-Fi, and so we were relying on our phone data, and that's where I understood everybody else who was coming in at that, the 22 gig cap's not enough, because trust me, I burned 22 gigs pretty quickly. I've discovered, um, which is why I went to Metro for the unlimited. Let's see. Yeah, I switched back to Fi immediately when they released their Unlimited Plus. But yeah, yeah, that's what I'm on Unlimited Plus too. Um, and that's the thing, right? So like, Google renegotiated with T-Mobile and increased the data allotment. It's still capped data, right? So it's not deprioritized. So those people that are still coming in talking about, well, it's not depriored. I was gonna say data that it's horrible. And okay, it's not depriored. We get it. Um, I was gonna ask you about this. What is better now, Metro or Google Fi? Um, so I'm gonna say this because as far as data speeds between Fi and Metro, they are they are the same. I'll get 500 plus exactly where I'm at with Metro. I'll get 500 plus exactly where I'm at on Google Fi. The reason I will say that Metro is slightly better is because of that deep priode. If you don't connect to Wi-Fi very often and you strictly use mobile data, you will hit the 50 gig cap uh, before a month's time is up. I know because on my Metro line, I don't ever connect it to the Wi-Fi really, and I think in a 30-day span, I use about 100 gigs. That's about as much as I use, between 76 to 100 gigs a month. Um, and so that's like double over what the high-speed data allotment you get with Fi. So that would be the only caveat to Fi is that it still has a throttle cap. It's not deep prioed. But I'm not going to be a Debbie Downer and completely like be like, oh well, I'm still writing off Google Fi because we got more, right? As you've seen here with the Unlimited Plus plan, it's been bumped from 22 gigs of high speed data to 50 gigs of high speed data, and then you're throttled. So if you're using home Wi-Fi, you're never really gonna touch close to 50. And when for some reason say Wi-Fi is out for like a day or two, you still got a good comfortable range to be able to run off your mobile data on Fi and not worry about it hitting that threshold. Um, and while they increased the pricing on the Unlimited Plus, they not the pricing, but the amount of data, they decreased the pricing. So it went from 70 to 65. So for $65, you get unlimited talk and text. You get 50 gigs of high priority data before capped, before not capped, but throttled. You get international calling to 50 destinations, and your phone works in over 200 destinations traveling internationally. So you get a pretty good amount. Now again, this is 65 bucks. Yes, taxes and fees are not included. And I would love, so I would say to somebody, if you know of another provider that gives you all that for 65 bucks or less, please comment and let everybody know. Because right now, Fi is the only one that I recommend to a lot of people who are like, I'm going to be traveling for a few months outside of the country. Should I turn on international calling with AT&T or with Verizon? And I tell them, you know what? Get Google Fi. Get on the Unlimited Plus. Use that while you're traveling abroad. When you come back to the US, you don't have to keep Fi as your main carrier. You can pause the service or you can just cancel it. You cancel the service, you pay your last bill with them, you're golden. And if you need to go back to Fi, you can always sign back up as long as you've paid off your last bill. So that's my recommendation. And this is where I say Fi sits on a different bracket than every other carrier because they're more goal focused towards international usage and smart switching. The ability to switch between US Cellular and T-Mobile, which is a great thing because if I travel out to the Midwest to see family, then I am able to actually use US Cellular that works good in Oklahoma. Let me catch up with some of this. 50 gigs seems sort of good enough. Yeah, especially if you can connect to Wi-Fi to kind of alleviate that. I would use 50 gigs very fast. I like unlimited. Yeah. Um, let's see. If I ever becomes unlimited data, the price would go through the roof. I mean, not really, because they gave more data and decreased the amount, right? Like Simply Unlimited, which is their middle plan, went from 60 bucks to 50 bucks, and they bumped the amount of data on that. So you go from 22 to 35 gigs, which I thought was weird. I thought they should just put 50 gigs on that, but I mean, it is what it is. They gotta stay within bounds because they are leasing access to T-Mobile's network. And again, people gotta understand this is T-Mobile that's kind of calling the shots on it, right? So like there are people who will question, but why can't Google Fi just give us unlimited data and deprio after 35 gigs? Where it only slows down for a brief moment. And they could if they had their own network, but unfortunately, they're using T-Mobile's network. And again, T-Mobile kind of calls the shots. T-Mobile's not going to allow Google Fi to be like the ultimate supreme phone service because then who the hell's going to want to sign up for T-Mobile, right? If Google Fi was offering unlimited data deprioed after 35 gigs, unlimited talk, unlimited text, international calling to 50 destinations, and international usage in 200 destinations, and the ability to connect to T-Mobile or US Cellular's network, and say that they were offering all that for $50, who the hell is going to want to go and sign up with, another carrier? Mainly T-Mobile's, because T-Mobile is not the parent company, but they are the lender company that allows Google Fi to function. So who the hell would sign up for T-Mobile? Why would you? I mean, what, for Netflix? Because also on Google Fi you get the Google One subscription, also, right? And riddle me this, Batman. But if you got all that, say like that was given to for Fi customers, deep prio instead of throttle, and Google One subscription, if you got the Pixel Pass, right? The Pixel Pass comes with Google Fi service if you option for it. So you can get a phone, you can get YouTube Premium, you can get Google One subscription, you can get insurance on a Pixel, you get the Pixel, and you get Google Fi service. Hmm. Yeah. T-Mobile's not going to allow Google Fi to be more superior to what they're offering. They're not going to allow it. They did renegotiate with Google Fi and with Mint Mobile and with other MVNOs. But with Google Fi, they did renegotiate, and this is what we got with that renegotiation. We got more data on both the Unlimited and Unlimited Plus. We got cheaper prices than what we were having before. Mainly, the cheaper prices is most notably on the Simply Unlimited, which if you're not someone who travels internationally or calls any relatives internationally, then the Simply Unlimited would probably be beneficial. I mean, yeah, it doesn't get the 50 gigs, it gets 35 gigs, but if you have access to Wi-Fi, you got a good amount of data to use off Wi-Fi. But I'm wondering, why is it called Unlimited Plus if data is only 50 gigs? Because they don't turn off your data. See, here's the thing, whether people like it or not, the reality is they by law can call it unlimited data because they don't disconnect you. Even if you pass 50 gigs, you may be slowed down to 256 kilobits per second, but you're still able to connect to the internet. Now, if they were to advertise on Google Fi that they give you, unlimited high speed 50, high speed internet, and not mention the 50 gigs of high speed, because if you notice on their advertisement they said you get 50 gigs of high speed, but then you see unlimited data underneath, right? Data is not pertaining to the 50 gigs or the high speed 50 gigs. It's pertaining to just your connection to data. They don't disconnect you. Like, for instance, anyone who's signed up and tried out Boost Mobile on the AN side. So if you got the AT&T side of Boost Mobile, you took that promo that gave you 2 gigabytes of data. When you use the 2 gigabytes of data, you know how Boost Mobile cut it off? Like your data access was zilch, none. You still had phone call and text, but you did not have data. So if you were using RCS messaging, your RCS turned off because there was no data to use. That is where you can say that they actually don't have unlimited data. And that's actually exactly what it says. It's not unlimited data. 2 gigs of data, and you pay 99 cents for the SIM card, and you try out the AT&T network side for Boost Mobile. So that's why they call it unlimited, Gene, is because they don't disconnect you at all. You're slowed down after you use so much data, but they don't disconnect. Let me see. Let me catch up with some of these. The Pixel Pass requires decent credit. Yeah, I know. Trust me. I'm not gonna tell you exactly where my credit's at, but it's in the 600s, and I couldn't even get Pixel Pass. I don't have the best credit. Uh, let's see. I tried signing up for a Pixel Pass, but after a credit check, no good. Yeah, and they do a hard pull. So anyone that's gonna try for the Pixel Pass, make sure you have really good credit. Like good to really good to excellent credit. If you have decent credit, where like I'm sitting in the 600s, that's not even enough. And what sucks is that they hard pull your credit. So because I even tried to get the Pixel Pass, that is now sitting on my credit report, and I forgot how long it's gonna drop off. But I'll check it later. But it'll come off. But still, I mean, it's a hard inquiry against your credit. So it's not a soft pull; it's a hard pull. Sucks. Like when you do the Google Fi 2 year subscription, and they want to check your credit on that, that's a soft pull. They just look at your credit. They don't actually like do a hard inquiry against it. So, and if you have decent credit, which is where I'm sitting at, you can get on the 2 year subscription with Google Fi to get, which is coming soon, real soon, the 6A. The Pixel 6A is going to be on that. That's probably how I'm going to get it is through the 2 year subscription since I already have Google Fi. I could just do the 2 year subscription, pay about anywhere between $80 to $100 less than the actual price of the 6A, and just make monthly payments on it with insurance. And yeah, I know when I get the 6A, yes, I'm going to put the 6 in the drawer. Not because it's a bad phone, but I just get very paranoid with it just because it's glass and glass. That's like, yeah. The 6A is pretty much going to have the tensor chip just like the 6. It's slightly a little bit optimized differently than the 6, but it's pretty much going to have that. The only thing it's going to have is the camera, the actual camera sensor, the 50 megapixel camera sensor on the 6. It's not going to have that. It's going to still have the same camera sensor that my Pixel 5 has. Um, Anyways, while I'm gabbing along here, let me go ahead and disconnect my Pixel 5 from the Wi-Fi here just to run a speed test. Um, Cause yeah, speed tests eat up a lot of data. So when you're running speed tests and stuff, and you wonder why, like after running a speed test, you check your Google Fi data usage, and it tells you that you've used about over a gig. That would be the reason why. Hold on. Why is it being weird? Let me reboot the phone because I had switched it. I had 5 set up on the 5A, and then I switched it over to the 5. I like using the 5. No, the 5 is not repaired yet. It's still cracked. I'm so procrastinating. It's not that I'm procrastinating. It's just that like finances that I have to go towards a different thing. Um, yeah, I am trying GoFundMe for anyone that's curious as to what's going on, and I got to get my mom back here to the U.S. Before she passes away, and so I'm like doing anything. I don't care how it makes me look or what people say. I started a GoFundMe. I posted the link on Twitter, and I'm letting it run. And whoever donates to it, donates to it. Whoever doesn't, doesn't. Doesn't mean people have to, but if you do, I appreciate it. But yeah, that's where the money is going, is to get my mom back to the U.S. So if she passes with her family. She doesn't pass alone. Um, all right, let's see. Waiting for it to turn back on. I think I hit power off instead of restart. Let's see. Let me check the comments here. A lot of people doing prepaid don't have good credit. At least for me, I don't have good credit, and I can say that if that's true for me. I can't say it for everybody that uses prepaid. I know people that have really good credit and have a good amount of money and still use prepaid. I'm using the 13 Pro Max on Fi. I love how Fi added the missing features like the spam blocker and VPN. Yeah, and like yes, it's true. The VPN that Google Fi offers does kind of choke the downlink for your internet. That's why I ran that speed test that I posted on the channel to kind of show people like this is what Fi speeds look like when you have the VPN on, and this is what Fi's speeds look like when you turn the VPN off. And there was a significant difference, like 100 and something with the VPN on, and then when I turned it off, I was able to hit 500. All right, so I'm gonna run a speed test real quick on Fi. So my Pixel 5 is running on Fi right now. I'm just waiting for everything to kind of load up. Let me make sure the VPN is off. And I like how you could do it now with the VPN. Before, for a little while, they had it set in your settings in accessibility or something like that, where you had to turn off the VPN. Now the VPN controls is back within the app itself, so it is turned off. All right, so let's open up Ookla. All right, so we have it, and click go, and we'll see what we get. Ooh, wow. Look how slow that is right now. And I usually pull 5s. Why is it doing this? That's interesting. That's like freaking 36. Look at that. Wow. That's crazy. Why is it every time I do a speed test on a live stream, I look like a jackass? I'll tell you guys I pulled like 400 or 500 down. And then like right now, 36. That's embarrassing. So, all right. ioflood.com. Always slow on that one. All right, let's switch it up. And someone probably might say like, "Oh, this is cheating." Like probably. So right now, I'm just show you guys so you guys can see everything that I'm doing. It's now connected to T-Mobile server here in Phoenix, and let's see what it pulls. Ooh, that is bad. I don't know why it's that bad. Hmm. It don't matter what server I'm connected to. For some reason, it's getting choked out. I'll find out here in a little bit why. That's kind of weird. 47. I usually pull like over 100. Hmm. Interesting. Let me check what band it's connected to. Do I have? Yep. Nope. That's Open Signal. Let me get Signal Check Pro and find out if it's actually connecting to N41. That's interesting though. One pulling that. After that, they cut your data. What do you mean? As well as the representative said that international roaming services last for 90 days. After that, they cut your data. That's crazy. I wonder why they changed it to 90 days. Because before it used to be like you would have no problems doing it for a whole year. It was just that if you didn't allow your phone to ping off a U.S. Tower within like 1 day out of the 365 days, then they would cut you off. So let's see. Where is the settings? Preferences. No. While using it, allow all the time. There we go. All right, let's see. We gotta wait for it to kind of reset connection here, and then it'll show me what it's connected to. Why am I only getting 35? Because that's just weird. So it tells me on top, connected to 5G NR. So you can get an exemption if it's for business. Oh yeah, yeah. I guess like there's kind of tightening down on it, right? Yeah, it's a tightening down on it just because there. I mean, now here's the reason why. I did on Reddit, I did see that there are people in India who will contact you here in the U.S. and ask you to set them up a Google Fi line, and then send them the SIM card, and so it gets over there to them in India, and then they use it as phone service, and it works out there. So I mean, you can't say it won't work, but oh, that's why I am connected to N71 for some reason. It's not picking up N41. It's picking up N71 right now. That's why I'm pulling that. Crazy because I do have a site here that's N41. I mean, that's how my home internet works. Is it works off T-Mobile's N41. So right now it has me connected to N71. That's interesting. Wow, I did not know that. But oh well. Well, that's the speed you get with N71. So yeah, that would be what their 600 megahertz spectrum. See, 90 days, 3 months is kind of enough if you just, yeah, it is. If you really realistically, if you think about it, I know some people look at it be like 90 days is a low amount. It's actually not because really when we vacation out of the country, we do like what, like a week. A week is like very common. People will be like, I'm going out of the country for a week. Some people go out for 2 weeks. Hi, um, R Voorhees. But hey, yeah, but like people go out for like a week, maybe 2 weeks. Sometimes you go to visit, family for the summer, and that's like the whole summer block. Are you from Thailand? I wasn't born in Thailand. My mother is. That's why she's there. She went back to get away from a lot of stress or everything like that. She went home. My mom is like kind of like me, right? Like I'm from Hawaii, so every so often I have to go back to Hawaii and visit. and it's like a recharge session for me. It's like for me to go home to where I grew up, to just recharge myself, to be, what I'm doing out here and dealing with things I'm dealing with. My mom's the very same way. I get it from her. She went back to Thailand. Fortunately, she did not know that she was going to get a stroke, and now she's been there a couple of years now. She's doing a lot better. I called her yesterday. She's doing a lot better. But that's why I started the GoFundMe. I take a chance. I don't care what anyone's got to say about me. Like, I'll do anything for my mom. If I have to look like a stupid fool, I will. Someone literally said I was a dumbass for doing a GoFundMe nowadays because, inflation and everything costs so much money. And I understand. And I don't expect people that I connect with, like, for instance, you guys, I don't expect you guys to have to donate to it. If you guys choose to, you guys choose to. If you guys can't, I understand. I'm just doing what I can to try and raise the money to go get my mom. Because the estimate time that it's going to take me to save money to get my mom back here, it would be probably until next year. And I need to get my mom back sooner because the last thing I want to do is find out that she passed away before I could even get her back. And so, yeah, that's tough. So I'm running that. Uh, the goal amount? What the hell? Oh, it's a lizard. I was like, what the hell made that noise? There's a lizard that just crawled away. But it's a lizard or something else. I have no fucking clue. Maybe a snake. I don't know. If it's a rattlesnake. Holy shit. Let me turn on this flashlight because that's starting to creep me out. You guys are watching me getting creeped out on a live stream right now. Oh, it's you. One of these things. Hmm. Ah, hate those things. All right, so what it was what the hell is those things called? So they look like a spider, but they're not a spider. They are venomous. They're like scorpions without tails. That's what it was. Creepy little thing. Anyways, yeah. So I ain't asking for anyone to that they have to do it. Anyone that can do it, that can spare anything can. The asking amount is 3,000. Yeah, I'm trying to raise 3,000. That's what it's going to cost for my sister to fly to Thailand to get my mom, and to fly them back. Since I'm not gonna do a round trip ticket because round trip you got to pick when you're going and when you're coming back, and there's no guarantee that we can get a one-way ticket for my mom on the same flight. So we're doing one way there for my sister, one way back for my sister and for my mom. But also because my mom hasn't paid her visa to be in that country, um, she owes, I want to say, close to almost $1,000 in fees to the government of Thailand for not paying her visa for being there because she's not a Thai citizen. She gave up her citizenship when she married my dad, so she is a U.S. citizen, and she doesn't have dual citizenship, which I don't know why she didn't listen to me about doing that. But in order for her to get out, we'd have to pay that. So doing my math and everything like that, it comes out to anywhere between $2,800 to $3,200. So 3,000 is the asking price. Whatever I can get close to that, it's fine. And then I send the money to my sister. She goes. She flies to get my mom. Nice. You look Hispanic because of your previous. Well, so Tito is a nickname that my dad calls me by, and I use that instead of my actual government first name, which I don't hand that out at all whatsoever. But um, my yeah, that's where the name Tito comes from. It comes from my dad. Like, I'm known as Tito. My older sister, I don't know what my dad just called her by her first name. He never gave her a nickname. But then my younger brother and my younger sister, they have nicknames for my dad also. So that's where that comes from. My dad is Puerto Rican. He was born in Puerto Rico. He moved at a young age to New York, and then he was raised in New York. So that's where it all comes from. That's where my last name comes from. It comes from my dad. Um, but yeah, so yeah, I'm a mix. I am. I don't know what would they call it? Spasian, or you know how they try to blend those names like Hispanic and Asian, or Asian and Hispanic, or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm Spasian, like Spanish Asian. What do you like about Google Fi? What I like about it, um, is that the fact that I can call my mom any time of the day and talk to her however long I want to, and not have to worry about paying international rates. Because Thailand is one of the 50 countries that you can call on the Unlimited Plus for free. So, yeah, that's one of the things. The other is that when I'm traveling to Oklahoma, US Cellular is really good out there where my dad lives at. So when T-Mobile starts to get weak, then I flip. Like, because, you can still use the dialer codes to force Fi to switch to a specific network. So I go and do that. Um, oh, what's up, Tech for Your Needs? How's it going, man? Your video quality dropped. I assume it's because you went. Well, I'm not on the Pixel 6 right now. It's connected to the home Wi-Fi. So it's not running on the regular Metro data. And for some reason, the Pixel 6 and Metro stays connected quite frequently more towards N41. This is the first time that I'm really seeing N71 being connected here. Um, but if it is dropping, I'll turn off the Wi-Fi and just connect directly to the Metro. But the N71 connection really wouldn't be bad for live streaming because live streaming relies on the uplink, not the downlink, right? So even though the downlink was like 35, the uplink was pretty good because to stream decently, you really only need like 10 megabits per second or higher to have a decent live stream. Hitting 20 megabits per second should be really clear. So like the uplink is where it really counts on that. How well does Fi work in Asia? It works really good. It does. I could say in China it works really good. In Thailand it works phenomenal. Like Thailand's got a really badass 5G network out there. They really do. Really different than what it is here. So I can say, it's yeah. So I mean, if you're traveling out to Asia, anywhere, like China, Japan, South Korea, Thailand, India, you'll be fine. It's when you go to countries like Cambodia, Burma, that's where you're going to see a little bit of a struggle, only because their infrastructure is not set up like other countries. Like Cambodia and Burma are really, I mean, they're war torn. They're war torn countries. So they're just no good at all. How about the Philippines? My dad went to the Philippines and uh, he didn't use Fi out there because he didn't have Fi. He didn't know about it because like he had left to go to the Philippines with my stepmom, and they left before I could even tell them like, hey, you know what, just leave your regular SIM cards at home, pick up Google Fi, take it with you guys, and use it over there. Um, but as far as like network connectivity, my dad tells me like their speeds is really good where they went because they were on the island of Luzon. So they were on Luzon. I forgot what province they were in, but they weren't like in the Visayan Islands or in Mindanao. They weren't in those areas. They were the main the bigger island, Luzon, which was where Clark Air Base was. So that's where I lived at for a period of time in my life. You plan to visit South Korea and Japan? Yeah, it'll work fine in those. It'll work fine in those places, and you'll actually be amazed on just how the speeds are there because of the partnership that T-Mobile has with other countries and their telecom companies. Google Fi picks up on those same contracts too. So that's what you'll really be using is basically T-Mobile's connection with those countries. Um, and I'll tell you right now, Japan. I don't know. Have you ever been to Japan before? Because it is crazy in Japan. It really is. I'll tell you guys that much right now. It is super crazy. There are things that we don't take a second to think about that in Japan it is considered to be rude. um, they're very what do we call it? They're I don't want to call them antisocial because they are very friendly. They really are. The people there are very friendly. It's just considered rude to just walk up to someone and just start talking to them. I guess you have to. I don't know what the dynamics are of conversating in Japan, but I know that it's rude to just straight go up to them and start talking to them. I think maybe like a little clarity if I guess just to make sure they're not busy doing something, so you're not interrupting them. Um, I guess they would expect that first, but they are. I mean, for the most part, Japanese people are very very friendly. A lot of stuff that you see in movies is just like overhyped bullshit. They're very nice people. You just have to be very respectful. Like, first of all, don't litter. What's up, Jose? Don't litter in Japan. Pick up after yourself, right? If you buy, by the way, if you do go to Japan, there's this really so there's an ice cream parlor. There's several of them, different brands, but they sell this specific ice cream, and I'm gonna challenge you to try this if you go there. It's matcha. Matcha is the ice cream flavor. It's basically green tea, and there's different levels of strength of it, right? So like the very light version of matcha is like a light green, and if you get the very heavy one, it's like a dark green. But people say that the very heavy one is very bitter. But yeah, I would challenge you to try it, and then there's another thing there that's really good to kind of snack on. I forgot what the hell it's called. Um, but yeah, you'll find some really cool eats out there. Japan is a really nice country. I would love to live in Japan. Um, it's just though like the way I was raised, my lifestyle is very different from them. So green tea with whipped cream. Yeah, but now their food is just out of this world. Like the street food, because the places I've been to in Japan, I've been to Nagoya, um, I've been to Osaka, um, and not really Tokyo, but like the northern region of Tokyo. It's in the Kanto region still. It's in that area, but I didn't go into Tokyo, and that's just because when I was younger, I wanted to go see Mount Akina from Initial D. I don't know if any of you guys heard of that anime. Um, the legendary 8-6, aka the Hachiroku. And fun fact, if you actually go to Japan and if you know what Initial D is and you want to see the real Mount Akina, it's actually the name of that mountain is really called Mount Haruna. Mount Haruna is the basis for the anime, so much that the entire course, the downhill run and everything, it's based on it's exactly based on it. There is five the famous five consecutive hairpin turns. There is Lake Haruna, where there's a hotel, and there is a dock that has the little duck boats. So if you watch Initial D, which is an anime based on downhill drifting street racing, this young kid named Takumi Fujiwara, his dad is an insane legendary street racer who, without Takumi knowing, was being trained by his dad to drive the 86 Corolla. Now you're talking about a very underpowered car, a car that at the time when Takumi started driving it, before the dad did a motor swap in the car, um, the 86 had a 4 AGE engine in it. It was kicking about maybe 150 to 162 horsepower. It wasn't until I think stage two. In stage two, Takumi races. What the hell was his name? He was the leader of the Emperor team. But anyways, they go into a race and like Tack for short, or in the American version they call him Tack. He doesn't pay attention to the the speedometer and everything. He doesn't pay attention to it, and he ends up redlining and blows the engine. So, in towards the end of stage two, his dad Bunta, without Takame knowing, repairs the 86. He actually gets a they call it a hybrid motor, but it's not really a hybrid motor. But what it really is so it's a racing engine that was it's hybrid because it's a racing motor that's also a domestic use motor. And like in Japan, they kind of are, you know, like when it comes to vehicles and stuff like that, they really have like slightly strict rules to it, right? It's not like the movie Tokyo Drift where like everyone's like driving an R34 Skyline. It's not like that. Um, so, anyways, so the dad gets his engine that's not in any vehicle. It was a hybrid built motor, and no cars had it. And it was from a project team that liked to build concept motors for Toyota vehicles. And so the dad gets a hold of that motor. He puts it in the car. He knows his car very well, so he balances it and everything like that. And it's kind of funny what he did to his son in the end of stage two because Takumi is gonna race against Wataru, who also has an 86, but his is an 11 model, 11, which doesn't have like the flip up headlights, and the Takame drives the Trueno, which has the flip up headlights. So they're gonna race. But when Takame is driving the car, he can't get used to it, and he realizes that the car feels kind of funny. It's not till he's about to race Wataru that he realizes, well, not he realizes, but someone points out the reason why he can't get high speeds with the car is because the motor is a high rev motor. So in order to feel the true power of the engine, you have to rev it to 9,000 RPMs. And so, but the regular tachometer in the vehicle only goes up to 7,000. So it's sealed. So the dad sealed it to see if his son can figure out the next basis of, yo, thanks for the $2 super sticker. Appreciate it. But yeah, so Takumi learns that he needs to install an aftermarket tachometer that can go up to 11,000 RPMs in order for him to unlock the true potential of the motor, which he does. And then he races Wataru, and he realizes that the engine is totally different. It is a high rev, and it's very fast. And so fast, it's able to keep up with the FD3S on an uphill. Because in the fourth stage, they go through what's called Project D, where they race all these other street racers from different regions of Japan, and they have an uphill and a downhill. So Keisuke Takahashi is the uphill ace, and then Takame Fujiwara is the downhill. And they go through some extremely crazy battles. Fifth stage was pretty awesome too. I would say if you're into anime, if you like watching stuff like that, and you're into cars, Initial D is like one of the best ones. It is. I played the game on my laptop with a PSP emulator, but yeah, it's a fun little anime. Definitely would say check it out if you got the time. Um, yeah, let's see. Are we still connected to N71? Because I want to show you guys what it's like if it's connected to N41. And it shows we are still connected to 71 on Fi. Interesting. I will probably have to do like a quick shorts when I'm in an area where I'm connected to N41, and then I can show you guys that, Fi can pull all the way up to 500, 600 at sometimes. Um, can't do it at work because where I work at, T-Mobile sucks. By my job, it's like, it's bad. So I have to, like, when I'm at work, I'm connected to the Wi-Fi in office. Jesus. But then again, there's all kind of stuff out here. Hold on. I want to try something real quick. I didn't even realize this, but let me do this real quick. Lights on. Kind of funny. Anywho, I guess I'm gonna call it for this live stream. Thanks for checking it out, everybody. Really appreciate it. And yeah, I will talk to y'all in the next one. Look out for future videos. Y'all have been great. Again, thanks for the $2 super sticker. Really appreciate it. And then I'll put that $2 towards the donation to get my mom back in the U.S. So that's also what's been going into it too. Like, the money I make on YouTube from AdSense, I'm actually saving that and putting that towards that. So fingers crossed that we can get to it. I'm hoping to get my mom here by August, just so that way she can be back. I haven't decided if she's gonna live with me or live with my sister. But if she lives with me, maybe I'll do a live stream and bring my mom on so you guys can meet her. I think that'd be cool to have my mom on the live stream. So, but anyways, yeah. You guys take it easy. Have a great night. Tomorrow's Easter, so enjoy your Easter with your family as I'm gonna enjoy mine. And yeah, love you guys very much. I do. Just because I don't come on and do live streams a lot doesn't mean I don't think about every one of y'all and like how much fun I do have when I get to live stream and talk with you guys. So thanks for always coming around. I really appreciate it. I'll talk to y'all later. I'm gonna go watch movies with my kids now before bedtime. So peace. Love you guys very much. Be safe out there and happy Easter.